All right, now to our first conversation, we're talking about driving transparency and investor confidence in Nigeria's market. We see the 2025 SEC NCMI Annual Capital Market Compliance Summit is set to spotlight key reforms, innovation, and investor protection in Nigeria's financial market. Let's find out more now, and definitely we'll get a guest joining us from Abuja once she gets there. But joining me right here in the Lagos studio, we have Roymot Ajiboye. She's the Chief Compliance Officer at Roqqu. She's joining me right here in the studio. Great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so, definitely a lot of talk about markets in Nigeria as a capital market. Now we're getting, a whole new asset class, also coming into, this market. Talk to me about what's played out so far with the ISA 2025. That's the ISA, 2025. We see President Bola Tinubu signed the Investment and Securities Act. What's been the impact so far, post-signing?
Well, for the new Investment and Securities Act, it's just all about we trying to drive the innovation. We try to ensure that all the rules that have been set into the ISA 2025 are now fully implemented. So it's just all about understanding the guidelines, understanding the what is required of us as a virtual asset service provider or digital assets operator in this phase. It's about knowing what to implement, about turning what have been set into the provisions of the law into practicability. So that's what I would say what we are trying to do as a firm to ensure that everything that has been set into the rule are practically possible and put in a way that we are ensuring compliance, we are enforcing the rule of the law. And it will also help the regulators to know the particular guidance to set for digital assets providers in this space.
Right, so you guys are also serving like some kind of advisory role to the regulator.
Well,
somehow.
It's more like it's a collaborative approach because the regulators are there to set the guidelines, they're there to set the law, but we are the ones that are seeing this risk on the practical front. We are the ones seeing the customers, we are the ones that know the kind of risk they are seeing in the customers front. So it's more about collaboration. We are about telling the regulators, so these are the things we are seeing on our end. The regulators will then know how to set these rules, how to set the guidance on mitigating against these risks. I mean, it's a collaborative approach. We are all about fighting against financial crime collaboratively. We are the self-compliance exchange for like Roqqu. We want to be able to actively collaborate with the regulators, collaborate with the likes of SEC, NFIU, to let them know the risk we are seeing, so that when they are setting the rule, they would then know the kind of controls that are to be set into place, regulatory compliance procedures that we need to set in place, or the regulators need to set in place to fight against financial crime, as well as also protecting the investors.
So I see one of the major focus there for the 2025 summit is how to ensure capital market, inclusion.
Yeah.
And, looking at the digital asset side of things, it seems the youths, are they fully included, in your opinion, or are we trying to add another segment?
I mean, looking at the statistics of Nigeria being the second widely adopted country that adopts cryptocurrency, I would say that the Nigerians have actually adopted cryptocurrency, right? However, the mate that might come into place is the likes of a lack of education, right? People need to understand what they are getting into before they are going to be fully investing into it. So, and for us at Roqqu, what we have tried to do is to set up Roqqu Academy. We have an academy where people can actually come to learn, to understand the workings of the blockchain, to understand how they can safely invest into digital assets, to understand the risk that is assigned to it. And another way we have also tried to do this is to engage in a campus ambassadorship. We have a campus tour program where team members are visiting each campuses to train people and let them understand what the workings of the blockchain is like. So because people need to understand what they are getting into before they are able to safely invest. I mean, you wouldn't ask me to bring my money into a program when I don't even have an understanding of what it's all about. So I think education is the priority. So I understand that the regulators are actually leading this front, but I think each stakeholders in this space, each other service provider in this space also should be tasked with these responsibilities to be able to educate the public before they say the youths are not invested. But we do believe that from the statistics we're seeing, the youth are actually fully involved in the investing. I mean, I like to invest, and I'm very sure you also like to invest.
Well, I just report the market, at this point. But, talking about this, education, trying to get more people to understand the market before, trying to play in there. Would you say we've made steady progress in Nigeria, or is it too early, to say, okay, this is progress we've made when it comes to education?
Well, I would say we are making progress into it. For example, I do know that regulators in this space are actually involved in education. I attended an event, I think during the International Anti-Corruption Week. EFCC did organize an event on educating digital assets, and we have the likes of secondary school students, we have coppers in the house. And I think that's actually a step in ensuring that we are embedding grassroots education into understanding the workings of the blockchain. So education shouldn't just be at the higher level. We should start from the grassroots. I mean, I believe that Nigeria will get to a stage where we have to incorporate blockchain education into the curriculum of secondary school students. I think that would help people to understand, so that if you are even teaching students in class, their parents that might not know what the blockchain space or what digital assets is all about can actually go back home to say, oh, Mom, I learned about this and this, how you can do this, how you can invest, this, how you can do this. They don't necessarily even have to start investing, so to speak. It's all about understanding. If you understand that, oh, this thing can actually fetch me a fortune, then you will know what to put into it. So the regulators are doing that, and I do believe that stakeholders in this space are also doing that. For example, like I said, my company, Roqqu, we are active, we are very bullish about education. We go to campus, I mean, we've organized over 5 campus stores. Even in the north, we are taking it back to the grassroots, we are taking it to the market women. We want them to understand how they can safely invest, how they can turn their 5,000 naira into 10,000 naira by investing. And also about securing their future as well. I mean, I also want to bank on 1 billion naira I'm saving in the future.
I can imagine my 10-year-old coming to me and saying, Daddy, buy me a Bitcoin.
You can imagine, exactly.
At this point, and I'm like, I don't know how to buy a Bitcoin.
Then you need to learn.
All right, so, what kind of conversations, chief compliance officers like yourself, in the whole, space, what kind of conversations are you guys having?
So one thing that we want to see a regulated digital asset space. We want to ensure that the mythical approach to digital assets being a means of financial crime is set to be. We want to ensure that with the new Investment and Securities Act that has been signed into law, we want the regulators to be able to turn it into practicability, set out guidelines, set out rules, set out what is expected of us to comply. While the Investment and Securities Act has provided us the rules of the law, I mean, there's guidelines, there's practical approach that we need to set into place. So we want a practical approach whereby we can encourage information sharing, collaboration with the law enforcement officers, collaboration with other regulators and other stakeholders in this space. And I think that's why the NCMI Summit is going to be a very step to achieving this. You are speaking with the regulators, you're speaking with your fellow compliance officer, you're talking about processes, you're talking about how you can set out the rule that have been set into practicability. Remember, we compliance officers, we are not just there to follow the law. We also ensure to find the balance. I mean, while I'm also protecting the company, I'm also ensuring that I'm not opening the company into a risk. And for me to be able to do that, I need to do that in accordance to what the law has set into me. So it's about understanding what the law is saying and turning it to practicability, ensuring that I am converting this to my operational processes in my own company.
Fantastic. So, we're not having this conversation alone. I learned now that Ms. Safia Musa Yabo, she's the head AML CFC division, SEC Nigeria. She's right there at our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you.